Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about writing a personal narrative. So your learning objectives. After this lesson, you should have a pretty good idea of what a personal narrative is. You should be able to identify elements, discuss the characteristics, identify topics to create your own personal narrative, and start writing your draft. So what is a personal narrative? It's a true story about an event that you, the writer, experienced. It's told from the first person point of view. It shares the writer's thoughts and feelings about a real experience, describes events in the order in which they happened, includes an introduction, conclusion, transitional strategies to connect events, and like all good writing, includes descriptive details, imagery, and sensory language to bring the story to life for your readers. So first, let's take a minute and analyze a mentor text. So studying a personal narrative will help you learn how to write a personal narrative of your own. So I have a link here with a bunch of student models of personal narratives. So let's take a look at this site. So this is a great resource. You can flip through and read any of these. One I thought was kind of interesting, so let's take a look. It's The Boy with Crispine Blue Eyes. And you can see a little summary up here, how her voice comes through loud and clear. She uses details and dialogue, includes the author talking to herself. That really makes a believable essay about the student's first high school crush. So let's take a look at the first paragraph. High school alone is the hardest part of any teenager's life, but when it gets mixed in with an awkward adolescence idea of liking someone, life turns into a whirlwind emotional adventure. Like my plate wasn't overflowing already with a chemistry teacher who called me Crash, a name I acquired after dropping a beaker during our first lab, a sassy algebra teacher who said that I didn't have the aptitude for the subject, or a French teacher who flirted with the class and laughed at her own jokes. No, I complicated things even further because, stupid me, I fell in love. So I really like that first paragraph. I'm hooked. I want to read about this adventure she has falling in love. As you can see, she uses I, so we're talking about the first person point of view. We assume this is a true story since it's a personal narrative. And she really, I feel like her voice really comes out in this. She is dealing with high school issues that we've all dealt with. And the complication of having that first crush or falling in love. So what I'd like you to do is choose one of those personal narratives to read on that site, or if you have an example from somewhere else you want to read, that's fine too. And then in your writer's notebook, I want you to write answers to a few questions. What details tell you this is a personal narrative? We just talked about one of them because she uses the first person point of view. What details tell you, what are the events in the story? And you don't have to list every single event, but what are the major events? And then list 3 examples of descriptive details, images, and sensory language that brings the story to life for you. So if you, read one of these personal narratives, answer these questions, you're going to have a better understanding of what you'll be writing. Okay, so after you do that, next you're going to choose a topic. And it's important, you want to think about important events in your life that you remember clearly. It might be a class trip or a challenge you completed. In your writer's notebook, I just want you to start writing down your ideas. You can kind of look at your life up to this point and what are the events that stand out. They can be fun, funny things that happen to you. They can be kind of serious, life-changing events. It's really up to you. There's stories in your life, right? So what story from your life do you want to write about? Do you want to tell? So make a list of some of those. Then you're going to choose your favorite. So which one do you really want to expand into a personal narrative? And go ahead and post your idea in the forum. Okay, now, some of us, I know I always do, need help coming up with an idea for your personal narrative. Some of us will know right away what we want to write about. So if you're not sure what to write about, there's a great video on YouTube you can watch. There's also, I've included several links, and there are hundreds of personal narrative writing prompts. So if you're worried, oh, nothing's ever really happened to me, I don't have anything to write about, I can guarantee that after you watch this video, maybe go through some of the prompts on these sites, you'll be able to think of something. You'll realize you have a lot to write about. You've experienced a lot, and writing a personal essay is going to be very easy. So once you decide on your topic, you're going to do a little pre-writing here, okay? Start planning the order of events in your narrative. You want to make sure, you're thinking about, okay, I have this experience. What were the main events in order? How, when, where does each event begin? Or, is this one event, larger event that just happened in one place or setting? Or are you going to kind of break it up into different settings, different kind of sub-events? And then is there a problem? Every story has a problem. As we read in the Chris Pine, example, her problem is that she fell in love. We're not sure how that's a problem. That's not always a problem, but apparently for her it was. So you want to make sure you have a problem. You want, a sequence of events. You want to build to a climax. And then you want to bring the reader back down and give us some kind of resolution where something is different by the end. So maybe a lesson you learned, or, something that you took away from this experience. Then you've, thought about it, you've got your topic, you've done a little pre-writing here with figuring out the events and, where the story is and where the problem is. You're going to start writing a draft. So a couple of things to keep in mind. You use transition words to help your reader understand the order in which things happen. And remember, you want to include plenty of descriptive details and sensory language that will really help draw your reader in. So important to remember, do not worry about your writing being perfect. This is a draft. You just want to write. You want to get it out there. And I love this quote, every first draft is perfect because all a first draft has to do is exist. So all you're worried about right now is just getting this experience you had on paper. All right, I think that's it. Of course, reach out to me if you have questions, and good luck with your personal narratives. Bye.